there's a lot of controversy in the black community about the film The Black Panther. Now I understand you saw it. Can you give me your impressions? What did you think of it and how you think it's gonna impact the black community?
People who came up with the quote unquote struggle, people who came up in the struggle, have a more relatable sense towards Killmonger based on his views on how he wanted to help the oppressed people. But then you had T'Challa that's like, man, listen, if we all just come together, period, we wouldn't even need a whole bunch of this stuff.
Because I love everything about the movie except its politics. The problem is the movie is about its politics, right? So it's a very problematic murder of Tarzan, but it is a murder of Tarzan.
It's on the one hand, it creates in Killmonger a black radical that's foaming at the mouth, so to speak. But on the other hand, it clearly defines him as a creature of the CIA.
He was flawed, obviously, as a character, but I think his mission was not flawed. So, yeah, it definitely resonated. And I think, as a black person growing up in the inner city in America, I really also related to him and his personal struggles as well.
If you had to be one of those people in the movie, who would you be?
The Black Panther.
You would be the Black Panther. You like the Black Panther?
Yes.
Is he a hero to you?
Yes.
Okay.
He is. He one of the good guys on the movie.
The film itself represents a relationship between the Black Panther and the CIA, in an opposition to people that were struggling or resisting oppression.
Between the 13th and 15th centuries or whatever, the greatest achievement of Europeans was not the colonization of land, but the colonization of the mind.
The military industrial complex has been controlling the output of various movies with their liaisons. Among those movies, the Universal films, Marvel films, James Bond films, all military films, the Transformers. And one of the ways in which they do this is they make available military equipment, they make available military sites, they make available military expertise, and they have a final say-so and approval of how Hollywood movie strips are going to be presented to the public.
Because CIA, FBI, DEA, or none of those folks ever meant black people any good at all. So you know what I mean. So they put this. It's a movie. It's Hollywood. They're gonna put their stuff inside of it, but we gotta decipher it, pull out the good, and use whatever we can use.
I also thought that it was sort of unnecessary. I didn't feel like it was. I don't know. I could have done without that part of the storyline.
What did you think of the movie?
I thought it's a drama and type of action and funny movie.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Is that why you went back the second time?
No, I didn't go back the second time. I saw it in my uncle room.
Oh, okay.
The fact that families, I seen grandfathers, grandmothers, mothers, children, grandchildren getting together to do something together and wearing African clothes doing it. You cannot discount that.
You know, in the theater, somebody started singing the Black National Anthem, and the whole theater started singing it before the movie came on. So I think, it was important to go and experience that and have my kids experience it.
I didn't really have a problem with it. With the movie and the hype, because if it's that's gonna get people into African culture, then so be it.
In the film, you actually have, obviously, it's a science fiction fantasy like all the superhero films are, but in the film you have a very advanced African society that's light years ahead of every other society on the planet Earth, and yet it still adheres to the king, the subjects, the rich, the poor, etc. Even in the midst of all that wealth, uh, it hasn't advanced in terms of how how humans deal with each other in society. Did you see anything in there that you learned about Africa or anything?
Yeah, like the wars and stuff and the music that was in the movie.
It was an event. Like it was also like, first time that Roots came out, like everybody in class, well back then, I'm giving my age, but back then, the entire class had to watch it every day.
The film is about maybe one or two tickets away from making $500 million. And that's in a 10-day period. So this may wind up being the first Hollywood film directed by an African American, written by an African American, to make $1 billion.
The pockets of money we can spend in aggregates that are just pennies that we're spending, remnants of our income, can generate wealth for others, but cannot be turned into generate wealth for ourselves. Black Americans are only in like 12 segments of the economy, and they're all at the bottom. So we're not controlling any industry. So we can't produce a Disney. So when I say I hate this movie, and they're like, well, go make your own movie, I'm like, I can't. Because I don't have a Disney. I don't have a promotional industry. And the joke I made is when you look at the credits rolling at the end of the film, those are all people being paid gainfully by an industry that is connected to state power that we don't have access to. So we can't just go and recreate that and then challenge that without a political struggle that confronts that directly.
I wouldn't even say it's a problem, honestly, because at the end of the day, this is a Marvel movie. Like the movie itself was created, written, and directed by black people, but it's a Marvel movie. At the end of the day, it's Captain America, but for the black race. Yeah, you're right. Or Thor, it's. So I mean, it doesn't shock me. Yes, I would love for it to come back to the black community, but it doesn't shock me at all